In a cozy little workshop, filled with the scent of pine, wood, and sawdust, lived a kind old woodcarver named Geppetto. More than anything in the world, Geppetto longed for a son. One day he carved a beautiful puppet from a piece of enchanted wood. He named him Pinocchio. "Oh, how I wish you were a real boy," Geppetto whispered, a single tear rolling down his cheek and landing on the puppet's wooden heart. That very night, as Geppetto slept, the blue fairy appeared in the workshop. Seeing the old man's pure heart, she waved her magic wand. "Little puppet made of pine, wake," she sang. "The gift of life is thine." Pinocchio's eyes fluttered open. He could move. He could talk. The blue fairy smiled. "Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish," she told him, "and one day you will be a real boy. I will give you a conscience to help you." And with a puff of smoke, a wise little cricket named Jiminy appeared, appointed as Pinocchio's official guide on the path to being good. The next morning, Geppetto was overjoyed. His puppet was alive. He sold his only coat to buy Pinocchio a schoolbook and sent him off to get an education. "Be a good boy, Pinocchio," he called out. But on his way, Pinocchio met a sly fox named Honest John and his bumbling cat companion, Gideon. They told Pinocchio that school was for fools. The real path to success was the stage. They convinced him to join Stromboli's puppet show, promising fame and fortune. Pinocchio was a sensation. He danced and sang, and the crowd roared with applause. But when the show was over, the cruel Stromboli locked him in a cage. He was just a puppet on a string, a moneymaker for the greedy puppeteer. Trapped and terrified, Pinocchio cried for help. The blue fairy appeared, asking why he wasn't at school. Ashamed, Pinocchio lied, claiming he'd been captured by monsters. With each lie, his wooden nose grew longer and longer until it was like a branch of a tree. The blue fairy gently reminded him, "A lie will keep growing until it's as plain as the nose on your face." She forgave him this time, shrinking his nose back to normal, and set him free, warning him this was his last chance. As Pinocchio and Jiminy rushed home, they were stopped again by Honest John and Gideon. This time, they tempted Pinocchio with a trip to Pleasure Island, a magical place with no school and no rules, where boys could do whatever they wanted. Despite Jiminy's warnings, Pinocchio couldn't resist. On the island, he and the other boys ran wild, breaking things and making messes. It was fun at first, but soon something strange began to happen. The boys started growing donkey ears and tails. Pleasure Island was a trap, turning naughty boys into donkeys to be sold to the salt mines. With Jiminy's help, Pinocchio, who had only just started to sprout ears, managed to escape, diving into the sea. They returned home to find the workshop empty. A note, carried by a dove from the blue fairy, told them that Geppetto, searching for Pinocchio at sea, had been swallowed by a monstrous whale named Maestro. Determined to save his father, Pinocchio jumped into the ocean, Jiminy following close behind. He searched the deep, dark waters until he, too, was swallowed by the giant whale. Inside the belly of the beast, he found Geppetto alive, but weak, living on a wrecked boat. They were overjoyed to be reunited. Pinocchio knew they had to escape. He came up with a clever plan. They would build a big fire. The smoke would make Monstro sneeze. The plan worked. With a tremendous, earth-shaking sneeze, the whale shot them out into the ocean. Monstro, furious, chased after them. The waves crashed and churned. Pinocchio, using all his strength, pushed his father's raft towards the shore, fighting the powerful currents. He managed to get Geppetto to safety in a small cave, but the effort was too much. The exhausted little puppet was washed away by a final, massive wave. Geppetto found Pinocchio washed up on the beach, his wooden body still and lifeless. He carried his little boy home, his heart broken. As Geppetto wept over the puppet, the blue fairy appeared once more. "You have proven yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish," she said softly. A magical light enveloped Pinocchio. His wooden limbs turned to flesh, his painted eyes blinked open, and he took his first breath. He was no longer a puppet. He was a real boy. Geppetto hugged his son, tears of joy streaming down his face. And in the corner of the room, Jiminy Cricket received his own reward, a solid gold badge that declared him an official conscience, first class. They had all found their heart's desire.